Hey guys, it's May and tonight I'm going to show you how to make a quick, and I mean quick, treat box for Easter. I don't know if you're like me, but I have little guys and sometimes I have to make little, quick little treats for classrooms and stuff, and I don't need them to take forever, but I need them to look like they did, so that's what we're going to shoot for tonight. I'm using my Spellbinder's Nestabilities in Labels 10. I think these are really, really cute, and if you don't have these, I'm going to be using these three. I'm using the largest. Let me flip it over. I'm using the largest and then the smallest and one up. So that's the sizes that I've got here. And if you don't have these, but if you have another way to cut a shape, even if you find a shape on the computer, print it out, cut it out, and there's your pattern. You can do this with the pattern too. I'm doing this because I want it to be super quick and easy. So we're going to be using these three shapes. I'm going to start with the big one, and I'm going to get my Cuttlebug real quick. Now I have a piece of a very pale craft colored paper. It's not the traditional craft. It's really a good beige. I'm going to use that, and it's really from my scrap pile, believe it or not. It's something I had cut away, so I want to use it. I think it was when I was making all those man cards, and I thought, it's a good way to use all those colors up. So I'm just going to cut this with my Cuttlebug. Now, in case you don't know, on the Cuttlebug, you use the main plate, a B, and then the C plate for cutting. And let's run that through. And it always makes my mat turn. I always go through once and bring it back again. You may not have to do that in yours, but I like to do it just to be sure I get a good cut. And you can see I got a good cut because that is empty now. I'll put these back and I'll show you. This is my cut. Now if you had the mat that you could go through and emboss this, you could go ahead and do that now. I don't, so I'm just going to take this out and set it aside. And I'm through with this one for the moment. Now I'm using a strip of pink paper and I'm going to cut it in half. Just like this. And I'm using the smallest cutter, the smallest die, just like this. And my C plate again. Just want to make sure that gets cut. I'm going to cut two at one time, so I'm definitely going to run it through twice on this one. So get that in there like that. Bring this guy out. And you can see that I cut two at one time. When you cut thicker, you can sometimes get a little bit of an embossed line, which is kind of cool. So there's two of those. And now I need two of this guy. And I'm cutting him out of the same paper that I cut the first big circle out of. And I'm going to use this one on the fold and cut it twice. So I'm going to fold the paper, place the die on top of it. And so on this one again, I'm folding it in half and getting two with one pass. So I want to send it through a couple of times to be sure that it cuts. Okay. And now then, I'm through with the Cuttlebug. So I can go ahead and put it aside. And you can see I got two of these. So there's what we need. Now we'll put this guy away. Now I'm not big on buying Spellbinders. I literally have two sets. I have this one and I have some scallop circles. But I'm going to tell you why I have them. I found them on clearance at Hobby Lobby at a really, really good price. So that's why I have them. And I got to be honest with you, I really like them because I feel like I can just pull them out, do the cuts, put them back and be done with it. And now, I can just put this away and I'm good. And I got these for $5.40. So I thought that was a good deal. So here we go with our pieces. This is going to be super fun and super fast. Don't blink or you'll miss it. That's what they say about our town we live in. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Okay, so I'm going to score this guy. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm making, you've seen in the intro, you saw that I was making a little bunny rabbit. And I'm going to need a base for my candy to sit in. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to put our little Spellbinder in to our shape, into our scoreboard, and notice that it is 6 inches long. Here's what I do to get a base. I find the center, and I know the center of this one is 3 inches, and I decide how wide I want my base to be. I want mine to be 1 inch. So from the center, I'm going to come over 1/2 inch to the 4. Sorry, the 4. I'm going to come over 1/2 inch to the 3.5. So I'm just going to do this here. I said 4 because that says 4 bar up there at the top. Then from the 3, I'm going to go back 1/2 inch to the 2.5 mark. That's going to give me a 1 inch base. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way. Now then, before I fold on my line, I want to do some stamping. And the stamps that I'm going to use They are not in the package, but they are these from Peachy Keen. I bought these forever ago. I can't even tell you when, but I use them so much. They are so cool, all these faces. So they're on the Peachy Keen website, and I don't really know which ones these are anymore. Wait, is it on the back? No, but it is peachykeenstamps.com. There you go. Okay. So, and they're much bigger than that picture looks. Because this is it right here. Can you see how large that is? Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm only going to ink up the portions that I need. If I was worried that I would get ink on these, I'd put some Scotch tape on them. Let me show you. When you're masking off, you can just take a piece of tape, and whatever you don't want to have ink on it, put the tape down. Just like that. Okay, so I don't want ink there, but I do on the eyes and the nose. So I'm going to take this little, I'm using some Close to My Heart cocoa ink. I wanted a very pale brown for this one. So now I can just ink right where I want it. Just like that. Now here's the thing. Make sure you pull your tape off. If you were to do it right now, you would get big blobs of ink from where the ink hit the tape. So pull your tape off before you do an impression. And if you take too long, you can breathe on it with some moist air and get it to wet back up for you. Now I'm going to take this and I want to stamp it where the eyebrows are as high as I can get them and still look okay. Now if you don't have this stamp, never fear. Just look online for a face that you can print out and use, or you can draw one if you are really good at it. I'm not real good at the freehand stuff, but some of you I know are really, really good at it, so you can always draw one. Okay, so we're through with the stamping part. Now we're going to do the scoring part. So I'm going to fold this back and score it down nice and tight. Just like that. Is that called scoring? What is that called? I'm not scoring here, I'm embossing. Is that what I'm doing? I don't know. We're going to use our bone folder and press that in place just like that. And now we have the face of the bunny. Okay, let's do the ears real fast. Did you know these were ears? How super easy is this, right? Put a little, this is textured, so I want to put it on the back side, a little adhesive. Just like so. Now one thing I do that you guys may not do, if I'm doing treats, I don't use my expensive adhesive. I know a lot of times people tell you, make sure, you know, depending on who you're giving it to. But if I'm giving these to a bunch of kids that are going to tear it apart anyway, I use my cheap adhesive and carry them in myself and give them out because they're going to rip them apart anyway. So that's just something I do. Alright, so now then what I want to do is I want to put 2 holes up here. And you'll see what this is for in just a little bit. So I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile and I'm going to use the larger of the holes. I'm going to line this guy up and just come like this. And do 1 hole, and then a good separation between them, because we're going to tie a bow through there. Now we need candy. What tree does anything without candy? So I have some Sweet Tart jelly beans and a candy bag. Now this bag is going to be a little bit big for her, so what I'm going to do is just fold it back. I don't have a smaller bag, so I'm just going to fold this back. Again, if you're just going to give this to the little guys, they don't care how it comes. This is more for us, right? I think. I mean, they like the little bunnies and stuff, but they're not going to be like, oh, you folded this back and taped it down. They're never going to know. Because you're not going to see it. But I'm going to do that just to make my bag a little bit shorter. Okay. So I don't have to have so much of it hanging out. Now, jelly beans. Okay, now what I like to do is fold these down. Just like so. Press that air out of them. Okay. And then I like to tape this shut. Then in here, I run adhesive, pretty thick. And if you want to use some of your expensive adhesive there, you can. And then I just put this in place. Then I'm going to fold that down. And then when my bow comes in, it's going to be nice and tight. See that? So my bow will tie it in, and that's not going anywhere. Okay? But before we do our bow, we want to put our ears on. So I'm going to put a little adhesive here. Some here. Now with these, what I like to do is make sure I put the little face kind of over that base and make sure you clear your hole. Just like so. I think these little ears are cute all kind of on the ends the way they are. Clear your holes. Okay. And now we just need some ribbon. Alright, so let me grab the ribbon. So I cut a piece of ribbon that matches my jelly beans. I'm going to feed it through. Notice that I cut this really sharp point. That's so I can feed it through. It's almost like a needle. See how that went through so easy? So do that. This is a thick ribbon. And stick it back through. Just going to lay that down and tie the bow for you guys to be able to see it. If you're using some of that ribbon from like Michael's and the dollar bin, that'll be awesome because you won't spend a whole lot of money on them. I have spent money on these treat things in the past. I have really gone crazy and, you know, made these just super cute and spent all the time and all the money. And then I walk into the classroom and give them to the kids and I watch them rip them open and I'm like, you know, they think they're cute. They do appreciate them, but they don't need them to be a fortune and take forever to do. They get the gist, you know? So, trim our bow. Just like that. And the last thing I think I want to do, because I think that nose is a little bit bland, I want to bling it up a little bit. And again, I'm going to use something really inexpensive. I'm going to use some Studio G glitter glue. And I'm going to just barely paint this on. I had a bubble. I'm just going to rub it. And I'm just going to smear it around. Not a whole lot. Because you just want it to be glittery and you don't really want to have to spend all day waiting on it to dry. But look at that. How cute is this little guy? And so easy. Let me set it up. And I like that the ears are kind of, I don't know, I think with a bunny any ear works. You know, you could do so much more. You could do stitching, whatever you wanted to. But how quick and easy is that if you had to make a bazillion for a class? Well, or 18. But look, there's your jelly beans in the side. And they're not going anywhere. They are in there. So there you go, guys. A little bunny treat. I hope you like him. And if you do this, I would love to see pictures, guys. We are really using the Facebook really well. If you make anything that I do on the videos, I would love for you to share it on my Facebook page. My Facebook is facebook.com/MayMayMadeIt. You can get there from the channel page on my YouTube. You can just click up there on the Facebook annotation and share with me what you're doing. I'd love to see it. Alright guys, so that's it for now. I will see you guys on Friday for more fun tutorials. Talk to you soon.